Hi everybody. The intention of this PowerPoint is to give you a little bit of help with works cited information. Um, I Maybe it's a little snarky, the subtitle, but this is usually kind of how I teach works cited. Look it up. I say that because it would be ridiculous to try to memorize where the periods and commas and italics go and what order everything goes in for all of the myriad different things you can cite. You could cite a video game, you can cite a blog, you can cite an article published in a database that was translated from another language, and all of those have slightly different rules. So you just need to find the rules, the rule for what you're doing, look that up, and copy and put in that information. So one way you can look it up is if you have a style guide, so the Little Seagull Handbook or the Writer's Reference, for example. But another way you can do that is simply by going to Purdue OWL MLA. Google that, and this is one of the most helpful sites that I use if for any reason I don't have a little handbook handy. It goes through everything you could want from in-text citations, formatting quotes, and all of that stuff to works cited page. So I know I'm going to use an electronic source, and I'm going to skim down. I am citing a page on a website or an ebook or an image or an art, whatever it is, and I look for the order that I put things in. Last name, comma, first name, period. That's pretty standard for almost every entry. Open quotation marks. This has got to be the title of the article on the web page. This is the title of the web magazine, and that's in italics, and then comma and date and link. So everything is going to be a little bit different. Most things follow the format of author's last name, comma, first name, and then title of article, and then title of whatever other source it's from. But that's really all it is. When you do a works cited page, I got a sample. You want to make sure everything is in alphabetical order by author's last name, because the author's last name is, I really think, almost always what's going to come first, unless, of course, a work is anonymous. If a work is anonymous and there is no author, you do not write anonymous. You don't just put it first. You always go with whatever the first information you have is. So history and milestones, that's the title of a book. This that I can't pronounce, I just downloaded this sample offline, is a title of a book. There is no author. So the title is history. It's alphabetized by H, after Heller and before San. And then it just proceeds with the rest of the information. Notice that everything is font size 12 Times New Roman, double spaced. Notice that there is I call this the reverse indentation, where the first line of each entry is over on the left-hand margin and every subsequent line of each entry is indented. So this one is longer, so it's indented twice. This is to make it really easy for your reader to just scroll down. Since you're not putting numbers in front of your entries, I can scroll down and I know that this page had Brandt, Dwayne, Fishburne, Gibson, Heller, History, San, Solodorov, and Warshaw. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This paper cited 9 things. There should always be a one-to-one direct correlation between the number of entries in your works cited page and the number of different sources you have used in your paper. That is not to say you can't use a source more than once. Maybe this paper quotes Brandt 10 times in the paper. Fine. But if a source is mentioned in the paper, it better be in the works cited page. If a source is mentioned in the works cited page, it better be in the paper. I'm not going to go over signal phrases and in-text citations today, but just as a refresher, you want to introduce the author first, or the title if there is no author. You want to make it clear what the source is that you're citing in your paper, and you would give a page number in parentheses at the end. And then if I wanted to go and I read a quote in your paper and it was so inspiring that I want to go and read the whole book of where that came from, well, you mentioned in your paper that according to Ryan Brandt, blah 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 blah. I can go, okay, last name was Brandt. I'm going to look under Brandt, and now I can go and find this exact work. So look it up with Purdue OWL. But another thing that might help you is the fact that if you're using library databases, the citations are usually as easy as copy and pasting. That's all you've had to do for my class pretty much so far is copy and paste from Blackboard. So let's do a quick sample search. EBSCO. I like EBSCO. That's my favorite. I'm researching student engagement in higher education. Look, it came right up. Student engagement in higher education. Full text is clicked, so I'm getting full text. Okay, skimming. Oh, look, this one looks great. I'm interested in this article. I'm gonna open it. And if I really wanted to read this, I would download full text. First, of course, I would read the abstract, see if it's worth reading, download PDF full text, and use it for research. But what I did, again, the intention of this PowerPoint is to show you some easy ways to cite. Look at this over here, cite. And here's all the different ways I can cite it. And I'm going to scroll down until I get to MLA. And I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to paste it in my document. I'm going to make sure it's font size 12 Times New Roman double spaced. Make sure it's alphabetized by author's last name. And then I'm good. So those are the really easy ways to cite things. It's a matter of looking it up. Here you don't even have to look it up. It's a matter of copying and pasting. So now you know about the Purdue OWL site, which is helpful. And if you do have a style guide, so the little seagull or writer's reference, you can use that to look it up. One other really helpful thing in those books is usually at the end of the section, say an MLA. So I'm looking at my third edition of Little Seagull right now. On page 168, the end of the MLA section, there's a sample research paper that has a sample works cited page, and it gives you a lot of other little details about how to alphabetize by last name, how to indent, stuff I've already mentioned. It tells you what to do if you have multiple works by the same author, what to do if you have sources that begin with numbers. So it's just a matter of attention to detail, looking things up, and hopefully now you know where to look things up. All right, hope that is helpful.